All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mac here in the 1010XL podcast platform. We're live on Facebook today on my Facebook page. Grammage has the day off and was quite busy. So it's just me, myself, and I here just hot off the Jaguars Today radio show, which is always a blast with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and Pockets running the show. Always a good time talking Jags. Catching Up with Tommy Mac comes right after on Fridays, typically, sometimes before, but today, right after that show. And we're brought to you by Team Tommy Mac, a great group of businesses that are always there for you when you need them. Doesn't matter what it is. When you're ready, they're there for you. And I'll go through them. We've got some new ones with Freedom Finance. I'm going to tell you all about that and his CFO services that they offer, and Newmark Phoenix Realty Group. Couple of new ones, man. They keep coming. We got room for more, so thank them all. But Newmark Phoenix Realty Group, a great commercial real estate company. All of them are great. I love representing all of them, man. It's fun. On this show, out in the street, social media, you name it. You ask me any questions about my team, and I'll tell you all about it. All right, so first preseason game this weekend for our hometown team taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Looks like the starters are going to play a quarter, at least the Kansas City Chiefs. I would think we would match that. I guess it depends how it goes. And I know there's concern out there about injury. And, it's easy to sit here and be like, well, it's part of the game. And it is. But then when one of your starters, one of your big-time players starters gets hurt in the preseason or even early in the season, really any part of the season, it's just a big dagger in your team, right? It is. It's terrible. You never want to see anybody get hurt. However, it is a very violent game. It's a very physical game. No, I don't want to see, if a couple guys get nicked, that's okay as long as they can come back. But you got to play, in my opinion. Now, you don't have to play a ton, but we are creatures of habit. We're used to playing, we're used to playing in games. So when it's game day, you wake up, it's the same feeling. I'm waking up, man. I'm getting through the day. I'm getting ready for the for the game. I'm eating, spending time, hanging out, relaxing, studying, whatever the case may be. And then I go play. Could be just for a series, could be for two. And then get them out of there. I want to see, if I'm the coach, which I'm not, but if I was, I would want to see success, and then you're out. Play your ass off, play hard, and then I'll get you out of there as quickly as I can. That's all that my message would be. And that's the key, playing hard. Because when you stop playing hard, that's when the injuries happen. They can happen. You have a little lull, whatnot. No, you gotta be intense the entire time. I said it earlier in the week. My expectations, I don't care if we win. I don't. I care how my offense looks, my first team offense. I do care about the second and third teams, don't get me wrong, but I care about my starting offense. I care about my starting defense. I want to see how they perform against their starters. I've never been a fan of, we didn't do good against their ones, but we did good against their twos. Well, that's not a win. That's not any good. I'm sorry. That, in my opinion, you gotta go toe to toe with those number ones and either beat them or hold it close or what have you, and not let them have their way about you. I mean, look, this is a Super Bowl champs, 2-time. Now it's preseason, but I guarantee you, Andy Reid's They're playing to win. They're playing tough. They're playing physical. So my expectations are that our offense hums, puts up some points. Look, I don't care. I want us to score a touchdown. I do. Ideally what? Get the ball, go down the field, put up 7, call it a day. Smell you. It's over. You know what I mean? Maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe it's drive, 3 and out, come back, another drive, field goal, another drive, field goal. Fine. You're out. Smell you. We don't need any more out of you. Maybe you don't even go for that final drive. I think it all depends. But guys can get hurt at any given time. You can get hurt in practice. You can get hurt in games. I know you don't want it to happen, but sometimes it can happen. Now, you leave a player in there too long, yeah, there's more chances, more plays, more chances of getting hurt. Less plays, less chances, right? I mean, that's the way it goes. So, I'm looking forward to seeing our first teamers, our defense now. I'm looking forward to seeing Ryan Nielsen's defense, aren't you? I'm telling you right now, I've been down almost every practice. I missed probably 3. I think 3. And we get right up on it, so it's absolutely fantastic. But this has been a very physical camp. It has. If you've been listening to my training camp reports brought to you by Team Tommy Mack, you hear the excitement in my voice. It's a physical camp. And it's a little old school, which is great. They need it. They need that grit. They need that physicality, that toughness. So I'm expecting to see Ryan Nielsen's defense perform at a very high level. I don't know about, you're going to shut down Mahomey. It's only first preseason game. Maybe you do. Maybe do. How about holding them to only 3 points with their first team? Is that too much to ask in 1 quarter of work? What is going to tick me off, it doesn't matter what side, but if KC goes down the field on our defense or our offense can't do squat against their defense, I'm going to be ticked off. I'm going to keep it in perspective. It's week 1 of the preseason, so let's not get too carried away. But it does have meaning. This game has value. What's the upside? The upside is, man, we look pretty damn good. Granted, it's only preseason, so you can't get too high on the horse at all. You shouldn't ever get high on the horse. But you shouldn't, you're not going to get too up in the clouds on that. That's great. That's not a regular season game. That wasn't full strength. That was preseason. You keep it in perspective. But what's the good? It's good. That's what I want. That's what we all want. And look, the owner wants it too, The last thing he wants to have to do is answer to, and none of them, trust me, the coaches, players, they don't want to answer to the media after a bad performance. So let's give them good thoughts and good juju, and hopefully they can come away looking good. Hey, if Kansas City comes back and beats us with their third string against our third string, it's not a big deal. Don't get carried away. It doesn't matter. You can go 0-4 in the preseason. You can go 4-0 in the preseason. None of it matters till you get to the regular season. Although, I should say none, it does have value, right? So you got to keep that in perspective. I'll tell you what, here I am talking about first team. I had to wait. That first year, 95 especially, I had to wait till probably the 4th quarter. First game, we played 5, so I think the Hall of Fame game I played a little bit more. But that 2nd through 5th preseason game, you don't play a ton. You don't. It's different, and you're trying to make the team. So here I am, bubble all the way, even below the bubble, waiting my turn, sitting there going, I know I'm better than him. I know I'm better. I'm just trying to get up there, and then you do it, and then you've got maybe a series or 2 to make a play. Now, if you get on special teams, yeah, you get a chance early. But early on, I didn't get any special teams reps. I was like 7th on the depth chart. So I'm talking 1995. So, those bubble players, man, I feel for you. I do. I got a lot of respect for you. You're chasing that dream, and you're hanging on, and you hope to be, one of those last guys standing on 53. I know when I made it, it was absolutely insane. It was insane being out of football for 2 years and starting where I started on the depth chart and ended up making the team. But it can happen. We've seen it here many a times, of course, in Jacksonville. But those, that first game, man, because, look, you come out, you're all fired up, right? You do the pregame, pre-warm-up, all that stuff. You go inside, you come out, you sit on the bench, but you're standing around. First half, you're not playing at all, right? This is me, 1995, first game, maybe the second game. All year, or all preseason in 95 for sure. Until maybe the last preseason game, I played quite a bit, maybe like 3 quarters. But yeah, man, you sit around and wait. Then halftime happens, and you come back out, you fire it up again, and then you gotta wait again. You're sitting there waiting, and then finally you get a chance to make a play, and hopefully you can make something happen in a game like situation. Of course, great memories making that team that first year, and I know there are players that look, man, this is their dream. This is their dream, and it's everything to them. And I hope they can all get it. They all can't get it because the numbers don't work, but I hope they don't give up. I was always told, give it 3 tries. Tommy Waddle, my good friend, who's up on ESPN Chicago, former Chicago Bear, phenomenal Boston College Eagle, a few years older than me. He told me in the weight room, I was a sophomore at BC, Tommy Mack, you got to give it 3 tries. On his 3rd try, he ended up playing 9 years for the Bears. My 3rd try, I ended up playing 5 years for the Jaguars. So You got to give it 3 tries. I wish all of them the best because it's not easy to get it. It's really hard to break in. It really is hard to break in. There's only a few spots open to break in, especially if you're going to a team that's pretty darn good. It's really hard to get in there. Unless you're a draft pick, unless you're a high-priced free agent. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about the low draft picks and free agents just trying to make it, trying to make this team whichever way they can, which brought me to a guy that I have been looking at. I really like him. But I'm going to go through some lists of players that for the Jags that I look forward to watching. I'll get to that in just a minute. Offense and defense. I wrote some names down that I've been watching in camp that have been impressive, and now I want to see them, in the game. I know big news. Big news that Press Taylor will be calling the plays this first preseason game. Doug Peterson made that announcement, I believe, yesterday. He's also bringing Press down from the press box, no pun intended, and putting them on the field, which I like. I like that move a lot. I want my coordinators near me. If I'm the head coach, I want my coordinators on the field. I do. I've never done it before. I talked to Coach Campo yesterday on the horse's mouth. That footage will be up. Go to TommyMac.net, the new website, baby. Love it. Free plug right there for me. Thank you. But he was saying, look, when he was a coordinator, he liked being in the box. I don't know. The box to me is too far away. Like I need to be in the thick of it. I need to feel the emotion, the energy, the momentum. I need to feel all that so I can get into the rhythm and call the plays the way it's got to be called. At least that's the way I would like to do it. But look, I don't know. Everyone makes a big deal out of this play call, and it was a mistake that Doug made it public. He should have never made it public. It's nobody's business who calls his plays. He's trying to look. You have to realize, and again, it's a preseason, all right. And you don't have to realize this is my opinion, but it's a preseason, so this may change in the regular season. But Doug and Press are friends, they're colleagues, and they're cohorts, and maybe even a little mentor-student type relationship. Maybe not totally, but a little bit. Obviously, Doug's got the resume. He's got the goods. He's got the juice, so you look up to that. And Press is hoping to get there. His brother's the head coach at Cincy. Of course he'd love to be a head coach. Who wouldn't? So as a head coach of being Doug Peterson, part of what head coaches do is they get their guys ready to be head coaches. They know not all of them are going to be head coaches. They know a lot of their position coaches may never ever be a coordinator or even a head coach. They're still very important to the staff, but the ones that have that potential, you're trying to build them up. So I think Doug I'm still believing in him. I'm still going to give him a chance. It's only for now. Maybe I change. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Look, I always, take last year, there were times that I did not like the play call at all. Too many bubble screens. I'll just leave it at that. Too many bubble screens. Not enough, the year before guys were getting open because of the scheme. And maybe that's, Doug was calling the plays here, although Doug said in the second half of the year, Press was. So take that, for whatever it's worth. I'm all about the execution. Like you call a play, execute. It's not always going to be a winning play, but the majority of the time it is if I don't miss a block, if I don't miss the call, if I don't miss the read, if I don't miss the throw or the catch or, all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just execute. So I like what Trev says. He's cool either way. Like, whatever. Call the play. I'll tell you this. The only other thing I'll say, there was an instant last year. Very annoying. What game was that? It was a big game. We were driving. 2 great pass throws. 2 in a row. Boom, like 15 yards each, something like that. Then we try and end around. We get cute. I don't like cute. You got to really caught them off guard when you're going to be cute. And if you're going to be cute, meaning trick play, for those of you that may not be familiar with the word cute in this regard, trick plays are, if you got to go to a trick play, there's something wrong. Now, you want to throw a trick play on top of the momentum, okay, that's different. You know what I mean? But when things aren't going your way and you're trying to create you had a spark going. You had 2 nice plays going down the field, and you throw this reverse. And Tim Jones, who's the third wide receiver, he misses the block and they blow it up. I think they fumble. It was just terrible. It took us out of field goal range. You just like, why'd you have to call that? Don't call that. Keep calling the rhythm plays, man. So look, it's a learning curve. I've never been a play caller, so I'm not bashing the guy. If I were Doug, I'd call. I would, but I understand what he's doing. So let's just all chill out on who's calling the plays. Let's see how we do against their first teams, and then let's see who our quality backups are going to be. I'm still concerned with the offensive line, not the starters, as they are. Now, granted, Ezra's not going to play. Anton Harrison's not going to play. They're both out with injuries. So you're going to see Walker, I think, at right tackle. I'm sure you're going to see Javon Foster sometime. I'd want to see him with my first line at some point. You'll see Cam, of course, Mitch Morris, Brandon Sheriff, and then probably Hance will be that other left guard to start. But when you get past that first line, I was watching them the other day, and I mean, there's a couple guys. I mean, look, Forder's had a good camp, and you can say what you want. You don't like him, blah, blah, blah. They like him. They were raving about him during practice the other day, man. He's playing guard, too, and he'd be a big guard. Be a tough guard to deal with. Very athletic, too. Maybe the switch turned on for him. I think it all... Look, I do think that physicality's been driven home, especially to the O-line. I do. I think Phil Rosher, I think behind the scenes, I think in meeting rooms, those types of things, I do. I think he's saying, hey, fellas, yeah, we got to run this offense the right way, but we got to get physical. We got to get mean and tough. And I'm counting on you guys to do it. I look at Brandon Sheriff right now, and I think he looks like he's back in his prime. He looks like he's back as a mauling, mean son of a bitch that's ready to kill people and very athletic. Mitch Moore, same deal. I mean, he does. And those two together are going to be really good, I think. And then throw in Ezra. Ezra, I think, has got it in him, too. I don't think it's as much on the forefront. I don't know. I'm just looking from afar. But if they can get him into that mentality, now you got a trio in that middle that we didn't have last year for whatever reason. Injury, blah, 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 just didn't happen. But with these three guys, very, very exciting to see what they can do. Well, you're not going to see Ezra Sunday or Saturday, tomorrow night. But with Mitch and with Brandon, I think those two are going to have tremendous years. I don't know about the tackles. I think Anton's going to be fine. Javon Foster's very athletic. Walker Little and Cam, we know who they are, and they'll play, and they'll be fine. But after that, I don't know. I'm a little concerned about the backup offense. Like when someone gets hurt, Ken. We'll find out. Look, I think Blake Hance is a decent guard. I don't think he's a monster of a guard. I think Sheriff's a monster of a guard, if you want me to compare. So maybe he can hold down the fort. Maybe Fortner can play. Shatley's good still. He can hold down the fort, but I don't know. I think if there's one concern for me going into week 1 of the preseason for our Jags is our offensive line as a whole, but even more deep into that, the backup offensive line. Now, Cole Van Lanen's had a great camp. He's been very physical. There's no doubt about it. Sutherland's getting after it. I don't know if they'll find space for him. Williams, number 60, I like him, but I don't know. They lined up the other day, and I was looking, I'm like, man, I don't know about that. If they got to go to too many of these guys like they did a year ago, it could be trouble. But we'll see. Look, the mentality trickles down too. It's not just the starters. So everybody should have that mentality, and hopefully they do. But overall, I'm looking forward to seeing all these great Jaguars. Hopefully great. It's a new year. Got to be a great year to bring us a little excitement tomorrow night down at the stadium. I'll tell you about the players that I'm getting excited about. But before I do, let's mention Team Tommy Mac, man. Just a great group of businesses. They're all friends. If we weren't friends to begin with, we're friends now. They're all very, look, they do things the right way. They have great integrity. They care about their business. They care about their people. They wouldn't be on my team if they didn't. They're there to help you whenever you need it. And look, you never know when you need it, right? You might need new flooring. Right? Carpet Man Flooring is going to help you. The highest quality at the lowest prices. All kinds of flooring. You may be renovating your house. Maybe prices are way out there. Maybe you say, hey, let me give Carpet Man Flooring a call. You should check them out. at carpetmanflooring.biz, B-I-Z. 2 great locations. Get thrown in the clink. Chris Lucero's bail bonds gets you out in the clink. #1 name in the bail game. I've never been thrown in the clink. No, I've never been thrown in the... I had to think about that for a minute. Never been thrown in the clink. But if I did, for whatever reason, Chris Lucero would be my call, because he and his team will get me out, and they'll get it out right. Why? Because they have the relationships. They've been doing it for a long time. Trust me, I've seen it firsthand. They help people. In times of darkness, Chris Lucero's bail bonds team will take care of you and bring you to light. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. I told you they were in my neighborhood the other day. Did a great job. I asked my neighbors how they did. They said they did a great job. Took down a outdoor shed that was filled with a ton of stuff. Tried to save most of it, get rid of most of it. Don't forget about the hauling side of their business. For all you contractors out there, home builders, they'll bring that big 30-meter or whatever it's called and drop it right there. You fill it up, and they'll come and grab it for you. Check them out. 844-GET-JDOG. Michael Nicholson, State Farm, been my agent 20 years. I mean, to me, that's an endorsement, right? Never left him. He's fantastic. Auto, life, home, supplemental health. He takes care of it, him and his team. Business insurance, you name it. He gets it done. Michael Nick is 777-6888. 777-6888. Sounds like a drink. It's not. It's Michael Nichols' phone number, and make sure you call them. Code Ninjas. Man, I tell you, I see all these. I love sharing all my Team Tommy Max when they put a post of it. Code Ninjas, and they're 4 great locations, but they're doing some really cool stuff with these kids. These kids are learning some really kick-ass stuff in the technology world, whether it's building games, using Minecraft, using Roblox, learning about security, learning about coding. I'm going to tell you, they come away with these certificates. They can I think when they're done, you get a job in that space. You have that kind of certification, at least help you get into college even more so. But it's a great thing at Code Ninjas. I mentioned Newmark Phoenix Realty Group. Listen, I've known these guys. Again, look at all these friends. They've been friends of mine forever, 20 years plus. They were my first job out of playing football. It was a industrial real estate broker. They were then named Phoenix Realty. They're now Newmark Phoenix Realty Group. They're still together, all those guys, and they're kicking ass. They got industrial, they've got office, retail, development, investments. I'm telling you right now, these guys know the market better than anybody out there. They take care of all types of businesses, big and small, and they will take care of you as well. 904-399-5222. Azar Sausage. It's the best. These guys have become my fast friends as well. They gave me some flop steak. Have you ever had flop steak? Seriously, anybody out there have had flop steak? If you haven't, probably the best meat you'll ever have in your life. I'm not kidding. Better than filet. But it was unbelievable. And they obviously, they're a sausage company. They got a ton of that stuff. And you can get it at Winn-Dixie, your local grocers. It is the best sausage in the game, no doubt about that. Family Traditions, Specialty Foods, home of Coconut Joe's hot sauces, always on the dinner table, always on the breakfast buffet. I tell you what, with eggs, with steak, with chicken, with anything, we put it on everything, and it's absolutely phenomenal. The garlic parmesan is great. We love the sriracha. He's got a couple new ones coming out later in the month. They're absolutely going to be fantastic. Make sure you put in Pound Team Tommy Mac in that discount code bar on the checkout at FamilyTraditionsSpecialtyFoods.com, and you get a BOGO free of the hot sauces. Freedom Finance, I mentioned as well. Listen, Courtney Myers, this is his company. He's a fractional CFO, but he'll come into your business and he'll help take a look at your financial. He'll give you financial analysis of what needs to be done. He's a CPA by trade. He's good in fundraising. He's good in forecasting. He's good to have on your team. Make sure you check out Freedom Finance LLC. Great to have them on board. Salt Air Inn and Suites. Also, Beach Life Rentals. Beach Life Rentals all up and down the coast. Whether you need umbrellas, you need chairs, whatever you need, they got it for you. And of course, Salt Air and Suites. You saw the video I sent or did the other day. It's all over Facebook and LinkedIn, I believe. Maybe even a little Twitter action. But a beautiful boutique hotel, 4 blocks from the ocean. Concierge service. Absolutely beautiful. Boom. Did a great job. And right there near the action. Of course, I want to thank 1010XL. Part of the family, baby. Great to be part of the family. All right, let's go. Let's start with the DBs, because here we're going to see the starting 5. And I say 5 because, trust me, you're going to see this defense in a 4-2-5 a lot, I think. And because that's how you combat a 4-3 run stuff in defense. You put them in nickel. It's really hard to stop the run in nickel. Okay, typically because it's a 4-2-5, 5 being the defensive backs, right? Typically the center's uncovered. Whenever a center's uncovered, that poses problems to stopping the run. They're going to get a hat on a hat is basically what that means. He doesn't have to really go double team anybody. He can just go up and get on that linebacker's scoot. He's not saying he's going to beat you on a block every time, but it's tough to stop the run when you got 6 in the box. Now, can that nickel help? Can the safety help? They can if they get there at the right time. When you're 4-3 with an 8th guy in the box, you're stopping the run, but you're not going to do that against Mahomes. You wouldn't do that. He'd burn you when they spread you out. But that 4-2-5 is going to be interesting. The 5 right now is Tyson Campbell, left corner, Ronald Darby right. Savage is in the middle, and you got Johnson and Cisco as your safeties. They all look great. They've all had really, really good camps. Darby's had a phenomenal camp. Johnson's had a phenomenal camp. Cisco, you heard about all the picks. We've got a good listen, and they got swag. I hope they show it. I hope they show it tomorrow night. Getting those faces, they press cover, they man cover. You got to have swag when you play man. You do. You got to have swag. You got to be like you ain't beating me ever. I'm gonna kick your ass all game long. And if you do make a catch on me, I'm gonna be right there. You're not gonna be breaking free. You're not gonna be getting yak. You're not gonna do any of that crap. And I think Ryan Nielsen brings that to this team. A lot of it's based on the overall philosophy, of pressing and dictating and being aggressive and suffocating and smothering, and then you bring the linemen in and all that. But yeah, and now you kind of get what Ryan was saying about it. Starts with the corners. It does. It starts with that press. Get that timing off. It gives my guys a chance to get to the QB. So looking forward to those guys. Look, I'll tell you this. Again, I'm not a guy that, as you probably know, I don't look for the scoop. I don't really give a shit about any of that stuff. I don't need to be saying anything to get ahead. I don't do it like that. Yeah? I read and react like I did as a backer and try to attack when I have to, right? I'll tell you this. So the other day when Trent Balky and I were talking, and T-Wig was there too, we were just kind of all talking over by the end zone. Ventrell Miller's name was brought up, Jerry and Jones, DeAndre Prince, all 3 of those guys. They are very high on those 3. I am too. I tell you that. And Ventrell Miller, I don't want to call it yet. I want to see him play. I know he's got the cast. He could vie for some time, I think. If he can cover, he looks like he can cover tremendously. It looks very easy for him to keep up athletically. He's big enough. You'd probably cover him up a little bit. But he's the second string Mike. Now, granted, Ryan Nielsen says what? The depth chart is etched in sand, which basically means nothing. We know the starters, or some of them going to be. I'll tell you, this is who I'm really looking forward to. I wrote down some names. I think if I had to pick, which I did on Jaguars today, Mason Smith would be number 1. The young man out of LSU. He is a gigantic human being. He looks like a wrecking ball. He's got the right temperament, the mentality. I'm sure he's going to take a little learning, to staying low and using technique and all that. But from the get-go, I really like this kid. I think he's that aggressiveness that we want on that defensive side of the ball. But he is a guy that I am very much looking forward to. We're not going to see Jefferson. I still want to see him. He's been hurt. Jordan Jefferson out of LSU as well. He's got to get on that field, to make an impact. Hopefully he can get out there pretty good. Caleb Johnson's another backer. I'm telling you, this guy could play. I don't think he's going to, beat anybody out for starting position, but he can play linebacker. There's no doubt about it. If there's an injury and Caleb Johnson has to take over, I tell you right now, I'm confident that kid can take over, no problem. No problem whatsoever. I did find interesting on the depth chart where they had Chad Muma or Devin Lloyd as far as who's next to Oluwakin, who's playing Sam, who's playing Will. So they had Muma's name first. I don't know if that means anything, but Ryan Nielsen did say the kid, he can play everything. I don't know if he can cover in space as well as they say, But he is a downhill guy. He likes contact. He's a big guy. I mean, he's not small, and he can run. I saw the other day he had to run from the backside position all across to run down the running back, which he did. It did a flare. They did like a little motion out and then turned, and he ran him down, and it was good. Made a nice tackle. Would have made it. I think Miller's going to press him for time. But like I said, I like Caleb Johnson. And Parker, number 58, watch out for that young man from Appalachian State. He can play the game as well. But looking forward to seeing those guys. Jerry Jones, yeah, you're going to see a lot of him, at least for a good bit, I would think. And same with DeAndre Prince. Looking forward to seeing both those guys out there. Of course, look, Tank Bigsby, Lauren Brooks, who did the crosstalk, that was her pick, who she looked to be counted. Look, if we're going to need him. We're going to need Cooper Hodges if somebody goes down, and he's my next guard up. Looking forward to seeing him. Look, Fortner, you're going to see a different Fortner. I'm telling you, I think you are. He's not a total animal yet, but it's contagious. I'm telling you, Brandon Sheriff's led the charge. Same with Mitch Morris. They're leading the charge, man. They're being physical. Looking forward to seeing both of those guys. Of course, Brenton Strange, we'll see if he's going to be a significant contributor to this offense. Brian Thomas Jr., I'll tell you this about BTJ, man. Kid is smooth as silk. I mean, I was in, when he made the catch on Darby in the end zone, we were right there, me and T-Wade. And then Antonio Johnson broke it up, but I mean, the way he goes up for the ball, it's effortless. I don't want to call this yet, but I'm telling you right now, he's going to grow into where if he's got a guy one-on-one down the field, no matter where that guy is, on back hip, front hip, whatever, throw it up. I think that's the kind of player he's going to be. You just give him a chance to go make a play. It's going to take time to develop that confidence to, like the old Randy Moss. Just, hey, Randy would run down the field 5 yards into his route. I'm open. Just, come on, just throw it out here. That kind of stuff. I don't know if you get to that, but that's the kind of meaning. Like, yeah, I think this kid's got tremendous, tremendous talent, and we're going to see if, it'll come to fruition. I don't know what we're going to see on week 1 or preseason game 1. I'll tell you what I do want to see. I want to see a sharp offense. I don't want to see, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and then we're done. If it happens, whatever. We'll just, take a deep breath and hopefully we'll see. Well, we're going to see him next week with Tampa, and I'll be looking forward to bringing you those training camp reports because I will be out there watching Tampa Bay and the Jags go at it. I'll be all over it. I can't wait to watch that. And looking forward to watching the game tomorrow. I am not going to the game. Going to watch it on TV, though, of course. I hope, on defense, I hope we just control Mahomes. Don't let Pacheco get too crazy. Don't let anybody get too crazy. And, let's see this defense. Let's see this suffocating type defense that we've seen all throughout training camp, and I think we will. The new kickoff rules will be interesting. I still think there's going to be heavy collisions. You can get to full speed in 15, 10 yards. Some guys can get there in 5. When that return, there's still a good 20 yards to where you're going to make that collision. I think you're going to see more collisions than you think. And I'll tell you this, if I'm the kickoff team, aside from my kicker, in addition to my kicker, I'm going to have somebody as a safety valve. Because all it's going to take is one break, one crease, and the guy's gone. Who's going to catch him? Especially if he's a speedy, defender or a speedy returner. So I want to make sure I match that up with the kickoff. But that'll be interesting to watch that. Hope if you're going to the game, you have a great time. You drive safe, travel safe, have fun. Drink some beers, have some wine, whatever. Enjoy it, some liquor. Be careful, though, and be smart. Make sure you get a ride home. And enjoy our Jaguars. They're back on the field. It's here, baby. Hey, I do want to thank the Olympics for keeping us company for the past 3 weeks. I really, seriously, without them, I'd be like, oh, my gosh, can football get here fast enough? But now with the Olympics, they've been absolutely incredible. Proud to be an American and cheering on our American athletes. They were great. They're still working at it, but overall, just a fantastic showing by all our awesome athletes. Not easy. It's not easy. That job is a ridiculous tough one, and you come out on top. That's absolutely incredible. All right, that's going to do it for me this time around of catching up with Tommy Mack. I'll be back next week, of course, training camp reports. Hey, make sure you check out TommyMac.net. You'll see this show. You can click on all the, which is great, all the icons you click on, it'll take you to that channel. So like you'll see when you go to TommyMac.net, there'll be a box of my latest Horse's Mouth content, and then there'll be a box of my latest Catching Up with Tommy Mack content. Above each are the logos, if you will, the icons. Click on them. They'll take you right to each respective channel. It's great. You can see as many as you want. They're all right there. I think the Catching Up has over 100 episodes now. And the Horse's Mouth has, I don't know, probably thousands. I mean, we've been doing it forever. But make sure you check that out. I'd really appreciate that. And also, when you scroll down, you'll see the logos of Team Tommy Mack. You click on them. Takes you right to their website. Fantastic stuff, man. Nice and easy for you to go see why they're members of Team Tommy Mack. All right, that's it for me. I'll stop ranting and raving and get ready for a great weekend. Wish you nothing but the best. Peace and love out there. Until next time, stay safe and be cool. We'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Peace.